Using imagination to be successful. Albert Einstein once said that the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but it is the ability to use your imagination. Let us take the example of a farmer and his seed. A farmer grows and puts his seed into the soil, having the end in mind, meaning he imagines himself growing the crops, taking care of them, and one day bearing the fruit of this seed. So a farmer starts with the end in mind, meaning he already sees the crops growing and him being successful with his seeds. And with this end in mind, he keeps working on it until he sees his result. So farmer is here using imagination. Imagination is the ability to form mental images that is not perceived through our senses, the five senses we have, and imagination cannot be touched or smelled or any of this, but you can perceive it in your own in your own mind. But it is not a reality yet. It is not present. It is not future. It is not a past. It has not happened yet. So imagination is a reality that is only in your mind, and that can only come to reality if you act on it. Always remember, imagination is to have the end in mind. Meaning, whenever you are imagining something, always imagine the result or the end in your mind. Imagination is the source of all creative thinking. It is more important than knowledge. But it is a power that is most underused and misunderstood. Almost nobody uses it, but only the successful. Almost all successful people use imagination every day. Think of any great people of throughout the history. Any person who's successful, who you consider successful, has harnessed the power of imagination to gain their success. Sometimes they have gained so much success just through the use of imagination. Because every great idea to make the person great came from their imagination. Imagination is indeed a great factor in our success in life. But most of us, or many of us, do not untap this power and almost always do not use this power enough. Therefore, we are not seeing the success we wish to see. Do you know how imagination works and how to use it? Because all of us have the potential to be successful. Because all of us have the power of imagination. So you can be successful as well if you can understand how imagination works and how to use it. According to Napoleon Hill, a successful author, he writes about success and how to grow rich, how to think rich, how to be successful. He says imagination is of two types. You have synthetic imagination and creative imagination. Now let us understand what is synthetic imagination. Synthetic imagination is making connections between ideas, concepts, or things that you have in your mind based on your previous experiences and knowledge and all the established facts that you have learned throughout your life and putting them into new uses by combining all these knowledges. So it's a mouthful. Let's understand easily. So basically, everything you have learned and experienced, you put them into new uses. How you do that? Let's say you face a problem and need to solve it. So you use your imagination, in this case synthetic imagination, meaning your previous knowledge, to solve this problem. It can be small or it can be big. And sometimes you cannot solve the problem based on your past experiences. Let's say you are solving a problem for physics, introduction to physics. You can't solve problem with imagination alone. Or let's say you are trying to have your business or something that is very important to you and you have problems you faced and you have to solve them. Sometimes synthetic imagination is not the answer because you don't really always have the knowledge for it. But in many cases, you can use synthetic imagination to solve a lot of problems. So basically, synthetic imagination is using your previous knowledge and experiences to solve new problems. And how you do that? You basically have the knowledge from before and you combine them and you create new uses for them. So let's talk about creative imagination. Creative imagination is more like a hunch or inspiration. It comes from nowhere and it usually involves you working on a problem, and your mind unconsciously, your brain works on it in the background. Even though you are doing other things, your mind will always work on it. So you are working on a problem, you are trying to solve it, and you are not able to solve it. So what your mind does is use the imagination and the information that already has, and somehow brings a hunch or some idea. Sometimes you realize you're doing something and suddenly like, wow, that could work. So those are kind of imagination that is working in the background to solve some problem. And a creative imagination is just that. It's a hunch or inspiration. If you want to get better at doing or practicing creative imagination, always work on a bigger problem. Always look for ways to solve the problem. And unconsciously, your mind will help you solve the problem through creative imagination. Imagination for most of us is weak and is unused, mostly unused. Like muscle, imagination needs exercise and strengthening. So like we go to gym to work out and we do exercising, and as a result our muscle or our body limbs grow stronger. Therefore we are able to do better things, we look better, and we feel better. Same thing goes for imagination. When you are imagining things every day, when you are practicing imagination through synthetic imagination or creative imaginations, and you're practicing every day, it grows like muscle. It becomes a part of you. It grows stronger the more you use it. So almost all successful people are successful because they consistently use imagination to help them achieve their goals, to help them achieve success. For example, a company owner will always look for ways to make more profit, bring more profit, cut the cost for a company, and always try to improve the company. So they will be practicing imagination of ways or hunches or maybe practical knowledge. Based on practical knowledge, find out ideas and ways to solve the problem. So if you want to get better at imagination, you have to practice every day. You have to find a problem that you are passionate about, number one, and you work on them, and you try to solve these problems, and you try to find and think of ways every day. Try to find ideas and get them together in order to find an answer. And if you keep doing that for a long time, by using your imagination every day, by practicing, one day your imagination skills or the power of your imagination will be really strong, and as a result you will gain success. Now, to be specific, let's say synthetic imagination. How do you practice synthetic imagination every day? So take some time every day to plan out your future. Think of all the things you wanted to do or you want to do in the future, and based on your experiences and knowledge, try to find ways to solve that or that goal. Try to find ways to see that goal to the end. So always have end in mind, like I mentioned before. So let's say you are, like for example me, I want to be a data scientist. So what I would do is have the end in mind, meaning I see myself already becoming a data scientist. So I already close my eyes. Let's say I'm practicing imagination, synthetic imagination right now. So I'm closing my eyes right now and I'm thinking of myself becoming a data scientist. So I see myself as a data scientist. I don't see that I am going to be a data scientist. I see that I am a data scientist. Just like the farmer who sees the crop being already having given fruits and he's collecting those fruits, but he's merely growing the seed, putting the seeds into the soil. But he's thinking ahead, so much ahead that he sees the end. So when you're thinking for imagination, in the case, if you're using synthetic imagination or creative imagination, especially for synthetic imagination, when you're using it, you will be creating an idea or a plan or some kind of event that is going to happen in the future, right? Imagination works for maybe a short time future or a longer term future, right? So you always want to have the end in mind, and you want to practice what you want to gain from this imagination, this thinking. Every day think of the end. And if you keep thinking of the result that you're gonna achieve, and if you believe you will get it, your synthetic imagination will be more powerful for you. Now, remember, all the great companies were once a great idea. So every great achievement and success came from an idea. Sometimes the idea is not perfect. So if you want to be successful in anything, you want to use ideas. And how do you get ideas? Through imagination. It could be synthetic or creative imagination. So if you are doing synthetic imagination, it's a great tool to create ideas because you already have so much knowledge. And if you don't have the knowledge that you're missing, you can work on it. You can grow by learning more knowledge and using it to create your synthetic vision. And a vision is basically an idea and with the end in mind. So every great success, remember, every great success comes or begins with an idea. The idea is the beginning of all success, and the beginning of an idea is the hunch or the imagination. Remember one key thing. Your belief determines your feeling. If you truly believe in something, then you can use your imagination to become great at it. You can use your past knowledge and your experiences and your feelings toward that thing to create something great. And you can achieve success easily because your imagination is going to work better and a stronger way because you truly believe in this thing. So this is something we call passion. If you are really passionate about something, it's going to be really easy to imagine things and ways to achieve success because you care about it. Now, how do you imagine your future? Our mind is a strong tool for us to use. We can use our mind to turn imagination into reality. And we can learn how to use creative imagination in order to have the best future possible for us. Now, here are some steps you can follow in order to imagine your future. In this process of imagining things, you want to first describe what you are imagining. So after describing the image in your mind of the thing you want to be, so for me personally, to be a data scientist. Now step 2 would be to relax. Take a deep breath and relax. Once you're relaxed, feel, taste, visualize yourself being there, meaning you already have become a data scientist or whatever is your goal. For me, it'd be data scientist. So I already see myself becoming a data scientist. Not becoming, I am a data scientist since I have the end in my mind. Now, as you picture yourself to be the person you want to be or you are already in your head, you want to use expressions like I am instead of I will try or I hope. So I will say in my head, when I am imagining, I will say I am a data scientist. I see myself being there. I feel all the work that I have to get done. I see all the responsibilities. I am a data scientist. So as you picture yourself to have a reality in your head of the thing you are going to be in the future, it's going to be really easy to actually put in the work to do what you have to do. So now I see that I have a lot of responsibility as a data scientist, and since I am a data scientist, I have to get them done. And if I see myself every day through this process, slowly but surely I will get there. Now remember one key thing. You want to create a happy moment. You want to trigger your happy memories and your happy past experience to connect to your future happy experiences. So here in this case, smile when you are imagining. So I'm going to smile and think of the happy moments I will be seeing. So I see myself as a data scientist. I'm really happy to become one. I'm contributing to the society by helping other data scientists or students who want to become data scientists by creating lessons for them or helping them out in any way possible. This makes me happy. So I created a happy moment. I'm also seeing my coworkers and my family in a better position because of my position. Practice this every week. Every week, practice this right before getting out of bed and right before going into bed. And when you are practicing, practice and be relaxed when you're practicing. Be calm, see yourself as already you have become this. So anything, any goals you want to finish, you want to practice, imagining being that. And slowly but surely you will get there. Now, when you think of imagination, you also want to think about being or having a better reality, being passionate, having action minded thinking. So when you are imagining yourself, right, imagine a better life, a better reality for yourself. And then think of all the things that you care about and imagine yourself doing all the things you actually want to do. And as you imagine all this, try to have a plan to make them into action and then achieving them by a due time. So you want to have the keywords in your head is to have a better reality, right? Close your eyes and have a better reality image. And then think of being passionate and also being an action-minded person. Now, to help you imagine better, you want to do few activities every day, if possible. You want to read regularly. Read anything and everything you care about, right? So if you care about a cause, read about it. Be around and surround yourself with like-minded people, people who think like you, or people whose goals are similar to yours. You want to meditate regularly and also be mindful of your actions, of the outcomes that are going to come with the actions you're taking. Now, to finish off, I would like to remind you to dream big and think big and keep repeating imagination process every day. And repetition is something that brings results. The more you repeat, the more consistent you are with your activities, the more result you will get. So if you want to be successful, you want to use imagination as a tool for you to achieve success every day.